I'm Billy Pickett.
And I'm Olivia Gordon.
And I'm Juliana Mullane.
And welcome to the Humanities 11 Evening News.
The U.S. economy is one of constant disappointment. 2 steps taken forward, 1 step taken back. After a return to job growth in 2010, trouble from Europe dampened American expectations and led to summer swoon, to which the Federal Reserve ultimately responded with more monetary easing. The economy recovered its footing and added 1.5 million jobs by April 2011, only to be dragged back to the brink of double-dip recession by soaring oil prices, debt ceiling showdown, and still more trouble from Europe. Early this year, it seemed as though the economy might finally have reached escape velocity. Private employment grew at its fastest pace in their recovery in January 2012, and private employers added over 2.2 million jobs to the year as of February. Alas, the summer blues seem to have struck again. As you can see from this graph, the job market has been a roller coaster ride full of many ups and downs from 2008 to present. And now for our stock market report. Investors headed for the exits this week amid fears about Europe's continuing debt woes and concerns about China's economic weakening, but a dismal U.S. jobs report released Friday seemed to push investors to a breaking point. And this just in. Major U.S. indexes all posted sharp declines of more than 2%, which was the worst day of stocks for this year. And now for the graph. As you can see, this graph depicts a steep decline that's occurred in the past 24 hours. And for happier news, let's go for our weather report. Billy?
It's a beautiful day here on the scene in sunny Long Island. Well, everything's beautiful, except for maybe this guy.
Back to foreign policy with Juliana.
It's been a very eventful year for United States foreign policy. The war in Iraq was officially declared over on December 15, 2011, although the U.S. still maintains 2 bases and approximately 4,000 troops in the country. In many countries in the Middle East, revolution has begun, like in Egypt. The revolutions unfolding across the Middle East represent the breakdown of increasingly corrupt sultanic regimes. Yet those hoping for Egypt to make a quick transition to stable democracy will likely be disappointed. Revolutions are just the beginning of a long process towards democracy. Now we go to Billy Pickett, live on the scene in Syria. Take it away, Billy.
Thanks, Juliana. According to various sources, including the United Nations, up to 19,000 people have been killed, of which about half were civilians, but also including 6,000 armed combatants from both sides. Many have been injured, including kids, and tens of thousands of protesters have been imprisoned. They have been killed in fighting with what they characterize as armed terrorist groups. To escape the violence, tens of thousands of Syrian refugees have fled the country to neighboring Jordan and Lebanon, as well as to Turkey. The total official UN numbers of Syrian refugees reached 42,000 at that time, while unofficial numbers stood at as many as 130,000. Back to you in the studio. And now for news on the 2012 presidential election. As November 6th election date draws closer, it would appear Republican candidate Mitt Romney will receive the Republican nomination to run against incoming President Barack Obama, up for re-election. 2012 has marked the end of the road for many promising candidates, most notably Rick Santorum, withdrawing on April 10th, as well as Newt Gingrich, withdrawing on May 2nd, 2012, promoting Romney as the front-runner in the election. A recent poll finds President Barack Obama's approval rating over 50%, confirming other recent polls showing the president's approval rating at its strongest point since Osama bin Laden's killing. The poll, released Wednesday by CNN, finds Obama's approval rating at exactly 51%, with 45% saying they disapprove of the job the president is doing. The new survey also shows Obama leading Republican contender Mitt Romney 54 to 43% among registered voters. Surely this election makes for a tight race.
And today in traffic news, there's a backup on the side stage.
Oh my God, Billy, watch out!
Back to you in the studio.
We'll be right back shortly.
With us today in the studio, we have our very special guest, Dr. Frappuccino, and he's going to tell us about his in-depth research about the coffee industry and Starbucks company.
Coffee is ruining America. Coffee is not only psychologically tethered people to the multi-billion-dollar business, but physiologically as well.
Americans spend money not only on the major coffee chains, but also spend hundreds of dollars in personal coffee and espresso makers that have recently increased in popularity. The irony of the situation is how American society has sensationalized the drink. In Italy, a gourmet cappuccino is a mere 60 cents. Starbucks capitalizes on a European style, naming the sizes of the drinks in Italian rather than English, to mimic the extravagant and delectable beverage. However, the corporation takes advantage of Americans' views of Italian coffee by selling customers a lower quality cappuccino and charging more than 600% of what a true cappuccino would cost. As a culture, Americans just accept this, and are drawn to Starbucks because of the illusion of European luxury. Giving regular coffee drinks grandiose names such as cappuccino, and adding couches instead of regular chairs, subliminally convinces people that spending more money is okay because the impressively different and foreign appeals.
And now in movie news. F. Scott Fitzgerald's critically acclaimed novel, The Great Gatsby, is expected to break box office records with its Christmas release. Fans around the world rejoiced as the trailer was released last week, featuring Leonardo DiCaprio playing Jay Gatsby, Carey Mulligan playing Daisy Buchanan, and Tobey Maguire as Nick Carraway. Many English teachers around the world are nervous for Buzz Luhrmann's rendition of this critically acclaimed novel because of his unusual style in Romeo and Juliet and Moulin Rouge.